It's hard to believe it, but 10 years ago, LEGO Chima came to an end. Yes, 2015 marked the third and final year for this magical world, and as it kicked things off with a wave of 10 sets, it promised to be another good one. Straight away though, it's clear to see that something was missing. For the first 2 years of its run, Chima's set waves were accompanied by waves of Speedors sets, each one offering up 1 or 2 minifigures with their unique Speedors powered by ripcords, a set of playing cards, and a range of obstacle builds to test your skills. Despite receiving a major design change for the summer 2014 set wave of Fire vs Ice sets, Speedors didn't make it into 2015, much like Ninjago's spinners actually, which dominated the scene in 2011 and 2012, but were absent from its final set wave in 2013, not returning until 2015 funnily enough. It's like the Speedors took the place of the spinners, then the Flyers took the place of the Speedors. We can save Ninjago's incredible 2015 story for another video though, because as far as Chima goes, in 2015 the Speedors were instead replaced by 4 Tribe Pack sets. Retailing for just $10, each one included a small defense outpost with brand new disc shooters and awesome tribal banners, alongside 3 exclusive minifigures. There was one for the Lions, which included an updated Liella, plus generic Lioness and Lion Warriors, a Croc Tribe pack with the Metal-Mouthed Crocenberg and 2 Fire Chi powered Croc Warriors, a Sabertooth Tribe pack with the Icy Cyrox and Mummified Sabertooths, and finally one for the brand new Ice Bear Tribe with Icelot and 2 Ice Bears. While the loss of the Speedors was unfortunate, as it meant we would never get ones for the Rhinos, the Bears or the Mammoths, these Tribe packs did help soften the blow a bit. They were a pretty brilliant idea, helping you bulk up the armies of the heroes and villains in your collection. It's honestly a shame that we didn't get these in previous years, because there are plenty of tribes they could have given them to, especially if they focused on those who weren't as common in the regular sets like gorillas, rhinos or bats, just to name a few. For the remaining 6 sets though, it was business as usual. Flinx got his Ultimate Phoenix, a vibrant Firebird covered in new for 2015 flame elements. This was a really good little set for $20. It provided a nice cheap way to get hold of Flinx, who previously appeared in the big Phoenix Temple set, and the build itself is packed with a lot of great articulation, including a fully posable head, CCBS style legs, and wings that can flap up and down, plus unfold to create an even more impressive and fiery wingspan. There are even flickfire missiles to simulate fire blasts from the bird's mouth, with poor Voom Voom only getting a jetpack to escape. Taken to the skies against it was Vultrix's Sky Scavenger, a giant vulture flyer with huge wings of its own that can fire ice balls and a detachable escape craft as well, with this set also starring the exclusive Vultrix minifigure. Down on the ground, the battle raged on as well, with the 4 remaining sets also featuring some wonderful builds, and offering up Chima's first ever collectible. More on that in a moment. At $15, Strainor's Saber Cycle was the smallest of the bunch, and with its huge tusks to keep enemies at bay, flick missiles, and Sabertooth head that opens wide, I really quite liked it. The head also doesn't look like a beaver, unlike a certain other set from 2014. And it wouldn't be a nice vehicle without something detaching, so of course the entire bulk of the bike can lift off to become a mini flying vehicle. What's left over has handlebars, so it can be driven in reverse, though I'm not sure sitting on that wheel is going to be very comfortable. The small little terrain build was also a nice addition, with some bricks and snow. While Strainor is nothing new, Warriors gives us our first look at the big collectible I mentioned earlier, the Firewing harnesses. The Winter Wave gave us the first 4 of these harnesses, with Gorzan, Razor and Eris joining Warriors and obtaining theirs. These had exclusive prints for each character's respective tribe, plus new flaming wing pieces on the back to lift them up into the sky. But unlike other Chima harness pieces, the Chi was actually printed rather than represented by a round tile that can be removed if you want it depowered. Below each harness, the heroes simply wore the same fire robes that they had in 2014. From a Saber Cycle to Tiger Transformer, next up was Tormak's Shadow Blazer, and this set finally gave us a minifigure for the mysterious Panther. See, in 2014, he was given an Ultra Build set, but at the time we had no idea who it was. Well, it turns out it was Tormak all along, and we finally had the minifigure to pair up with the Ultra Build, with detailing similar to the original figure, but silver shoulder armor instead of a big bulky Chi harness. And the Shadow Blazer played into this transformation in a really fun way. At first, it's a slick black tiger car with flaming cars and spring-loaded missiles, but then by grabbing hold of the drill piece at the back, you could lift it up and twist it over, revealing an orange tiger version of the car with its own flick missiles. This was a really cool concept, and I think the designers executed it pretty well. Psychor, meanwhile, can fire icy discs from a small outpost. This was also his official set debut, previously only coming in polybags and a blister pack. The Firewing Gorzam was the cherry on top, making this a must-get set for the wave. The next set, however, is even better, and honestly might be one of the top 10 best from the entire theme. Icebite's Claw Driller. What a beauty. 2015 really was the year of the bear, and this set provided all the bear necessities. With Ice Paw and Icebite, we got 2 more chilling ice bears to add to the army, but more importantly was Bulkar. After 2 years of waiting, we finally had our first member of the regular bear tribe, complete with a little bag of honey printed on his torso, which is just a perfect little detail. He's armed with a big saw weapon, and also got a little bear snowmobile of his own to ride around on, powered by Fire Chi, with missiles to defend it. Not that it would stand much of a chance against the big Claw Driller though. This huge mech uses ratchet joints to attach its limbs, so there's a lot of friction allowing it to hold its posers, and Icebite can control it from inside the torso, with a huge bear head above which is free to move around. The torso also rotates, with elastic bands snapping it back to simulate powerful attacks, and it certainly had a lot of weaponry to attack with. Flick missiles on the giant paw, a shoulder mounted gun, and a huge drill let this thing eliminate any obstacle or enemy in its path. There's also a detachable Ice Bear bike on the back. The winter 2015 Chima wave was finished off with the big Tiger's mobile command. This 712-piece Tiger tank captured the look of a Tiger well, with its brick-built face and stripy tank treads, and it was also packed full of play features. Firstly, just like the Lion Temple, it has its own scout bikes that can launch out onto the battlefield, each capable of holding a single minifigure. Then, behind the cockpit, the shoulder-mounted cannons can be pushed forward to fire discs, and also swing the blasters out to the side for its Fire Chi power mode transformation. The back, meanwhile, can detach from the tank and be converted into a small outpost, which has some control panels for characters to monitor the battlefield, a radar dish, and weapon storage. Minifigure-wise, this had a return of Sir Fangar and the new Sabertooth Cyberus, who consisted of entirely new and exclusive print designs. For the heroes, Firewing Eris was joined by Tazar and Trakar, the all-new tigers, who, unlike Tormak, used a darker orange for their fur, and Breezor, the first and only beaver we ever got. Sadly, there was no unique headpiece to match the beavers in the show, instead just reusing the existing Yeti headpiece. Maybe one day we'll get a more accurate looking beaver. I mean, they have made appearances in some recent Ninjago seasons after all. So, Winter 2015 was another fantastic wave of Chima sets and made a great addition to the previous collection of Fire vs Ice stuff. With 4 Firewings down and 4 more to go, it all came to a head when Chima reached its conclusion in the summer of 2015. On May 1st, the final ever wave of sets arrived on shelves. Bladvic's Rumble Bear kicked things off, and after that incredible Bear Magg for the Ice Bears, this was sadly a huge downgrade. It's big and awkward, with legs that were fixed in place and tiny arms that can't do anything other than shoot fireballs. The head is similar to the Ice Bear one, so there was nice consistency there, but it doesn't really do a good job hiding that huge gaping hole in the mech's torso between those giant wheels. In the TV show, the Rumble Bear was pretty much just a colour swapped Ice Bear mech, so why was this set so different? Well, pulling on this handle reveals why. It converts into a big car type vehicle for Fire Chi power mode, and the set is definitely much better like this rather than standing upright. I appreciate what they were trying to do here to make this more unique, but it really sacrificed the quality of the mech form, and that's a real shame after they knocked it out of the park with the Claw Driller. Still, it did come with a cool little Ice Bear sled to add to their vehicle collection, plus Bladvic with his Firewing harness and a pot of honey. So the summer wave wasn't off to a great start, but things did get a little better as the Mammoths made a return with this frozen Stronghold. An icy lair defended by a disc shooter, trunk cannons, and large tusks, with a small Mammoth car that can be launched out to chase down Rogon on his mini fire rhino. The interior is definitely lacking though, but there's a storage box, an anvil, and platform to show off frozen prisoners. Despite being a Mammoth Stronghold, we sadly got no new Mammoth minifigures, instead just reusing Mauler and Motrop, making the Mammoths one of the smallest tribes available, much like the Rhinos, whose only additions this time were a new outfit for Renona and Firewings for Rogon. It's better than nothing, but this really doesn't hold a candle to Sir Fangar's Ice Fortress from the previous year, which was still relatively small but just packed a lot more in and overall has a better appearance and selection of play features. Finishing the wave off was King Crominus' rescue, delivering the crocodiles an enormous twin-bladed helicopter. Seriously, this thing is huge and easily the standout for this final ever set wave. Like all croc vehicles, the head was brilliantly made with plenty of room for Kragger to sit inside it. The helicopter blades spin around by pushing this piece forwards, with elastic bands allowing you to really get these things going fast. There were also flick-fire missiles here as well, because it just wouldn't be complete without them. Joining Kragger in the fight is Lion Hero Laval with a mini tank. It's pretty simple, with disc shooters to defend, but also has this big ball joint sticking out at the back. Well, that's there for the Crocopter to land down and pick the tank up to fly Laval out of difficult situations, and then you can drop him down wherever it's safe like so. For the heroes, it included the Fire-robed King Crominus and Fire-winged Laval and Krager, finishing off the collection of all 8 harnesses, while the villains included Strainor, Iceport, and exclusive Soror. At 863 pieces, this was officially the biggest set to come from 2015, and it certainly helped end the theme on a high point. But it wasn't over yet. First of all, the Healed Sir Fangar appeared in the 2015 Target minifigure cube, and then the Ultimate Battle for Chima was revealed. The grand prize for a Chima competition in the LEGO Club magazine, at 10,004 pieces, it was, at the time, the biggest LEGO set ever made, at least technically anyway. And then, in September, 3 LEGO Dimensions fun packs arrived on the scene for Laval, Krager, and Eris. Each one contained small builds of the trio's iconic vehicles, which could be rebuilt, plus new and exclusive Fire Robe designs for each of the heroes. With their place in LEGO Dimensions secured, it was finally over for Chima. 2015 overall had been another good year for the theme. The Winter Wave kicked things off with a strong start, introducing great new minifigures and continuing to deliver solid, action-packed sets, and while the small Summer Wave was definitely nowhere near as good, it still also delivered some decent stuff overall. It wasn't all perfect. I mean, finally getting the bears was good, but it's clear that they were overshadowed by the ice bears, who got 6 unique figures while the regular bears only got 2, and even then, one was fully decked out in fire robes, so we still didn't have the Bladvic we'd known since 2013. Something that becomes all the more disappointing when you line up the 8 main heroes of the theme in their normal outfits. Since the Sabertooths had their own battle pack, I think it would have been nice to have new bears and mammoths take the place of some of the Sabertooths in the regular sets. Small issues aside, I think Chima went out on a high, and while it only had a 3-year run, it did everything it set out to do. It told the story of a land full of humanoid animals who fight for control of their most precious resource, but most importantly, it lived on. While no Chima sets have been made since 2015, it has made numerous appearances in Ninjago, serving as the home realm to its most recent recurring villain, Lord Raz, which is a huge win for fans of both themes. Chima may be gone, but it is certainly not forgotten.